Today we're going to do a quick EKG review. First, the first thing I want you to do is use calipers. Go out, buy calipers. They're like $9, $8, $9, $10 on Amazon. Go to Walmart, buy calipers. Just get calipers. These are going to be your best friend for your life when it comes to EKG interpretation. I bought my calipers 20 years ago and I still I still have them. They don't degrade. They are made of metal and they hold up and they are just like the best thing you can buy. So, buy a pair of calipers for $10 today and in 20 years they will be the same. They will serve you the same. They will be your best friend. And they are the best thing you can use when interpreting EKGs, whether it's 3 lead or 12 lead. Throw away your index cards, throw away your post-it notes, throw away your like little, I'm going to make a mark on this piece of paper and then move that mark over a little bit. No, use calipers. Use calipers. $10 calipers will last you a lifetime. Carry them with you. They will go wherever you go. Go on vacation to Tahiti. Take your calipers with you. You're on duty. Take your calipers with you. Everywhere. I have them in my office. I have them on me. In reach. At all times. I bought them 20 years ago. One set of calipers. I've gone on way too long about calipers. I really have gone on way too long about calipers. And that tells you you should go out and buy a $10 pair of calipers. So do it. Okay, calipers aside. Sorry. What you're really here for. EKG review. Normal sinus rhythm. 60 to 100 beats per minute. QRSs are regular. P waves are regular. And, well, there. P wave for every QRS complex. PR interval is normal. QRS width, this says normal. It could be wide, could be normal. We'll get into that later. But QRSs are there. QRSs are normal. Grouping is normal. The R to Rs are normal. The P to Ps are normal. And your PR interval is normal. Sinus arrhythmia, again, still 60 to 100, but a little bit irregular. It varies with respiration. I promise you can do this on your own, sitting at your computer right now. Take a deep breath in, feel your pulse, and slowly let out that breath. And you're going to have a sinus arrhythmia. Pretty normal. R to Rs are going to be varied a little bit. Your PR intervals still going to be normal, but you're just going to slow down and speed up your rhythm just a little bit. Sinus brady is going to be a normal QRS and a normal P to P and a normal PR interval, but your rate is going to be less than 60. So a sinus rhythm. So let's get used to identifying a sinus rhythm. A P wave for every QRS and the P to QRS is normal. The PR interval is normal and consistent. But just sinus bradycardia, just a little bit slow. So less than 60 beats per minute. Sinus tachycardia or sinus tach is the opposite of sinus brady. So sinus tach, just a little bit fast. So our R to Rs are normal. Our P to Ps are normal. Our PR intervals are normal and consistent. Just the heart rate is above 100 or 100 or greater, so just a little bit fast. Within our sinus rhythms, We've got sinus pauses, we've got sinus arrests, and there's a little bit of a difference between the two, pause or arrest. Um, so our RRRs are going to be irregular. That's a given. Um, our P2Ps are going to be irregular as they follow our QRS complexes. Our R to R intervals. Our PR intervals themselves are going to be normal and consistent. But our R to Rs, that's what we're going to focus on, our pauses versus our arrests. And we're going to have compensatory pauses and we're going to have non-compensatory pauses. So our sinus pause has a compensatory pause where our QRS picks up where we think it should pick up. So we have a pause. But if we march it out, if we take our calipers, which you have obviously ordered by now, right? You've ordered your calipers. I'm not gonna let this go. This is gonna be a thing. You're gonna order calipers. So you've ordered your calipers, they've come in, and you've marched out your QRSs. Well, a sinus pause is going to be able to march out your QRS complexes. So there's going to be a break, a compensatory pause, but your QRS is going to pick up where it should be. A sinus arrest is you march it out with your calipers that you ordered already because you went to Amazon.com. And you typed in EKG calipers. And then you hit order. You hit add to cart. So you have your calipers and you march it out in your rest. Your sinus arrest, when you march out your QRS complexes, they don't fall where they should be. So they have compensatory pause and a non-compensatory pause. So your sinus pause, QRS complexes fall where they should be. Your sinus arrest, your QRS complexes fall where they shouldn't be. They fall later than they should be. You might have premature atrial contractions, or PACs, and these just come before the normal expected beat. So you've got a sinus rhythm, you're going along, and then all of a sudden you've got this like, right, unexpected beat, this premature beat, and then it carries on in your normal sinus rhythm. So P to Ps kind of vary a little bit. R to Rs vary a little bit. Your PR interval is going to stay the same. QRS still nice and consistent. It's just this extra little early beat. While we were talking about sinus rhythms, a couple of my favorite sinus rhythms. One is wandering atrial pacemaker. So it is irregular, less than 100 beats per minute. It's kind of all over the place, but you still have P waves. But these P waves look different. All these P waves look different, and they might have like 2 different morphologies to them. They might have 3, and they might have 4. They just look different. The PR interval might vary just a little bit depending on the P wave itself, but it's not going to vary a whole lot. But the P waves, focus on the P waves here. The P waves look different because they're coming from different foci in the right atrium. It's not the SA node, it's kind of all around that SA node, and they're all just trying to do their own thing. And that's why you see these different P waves, because they're coming from different areas. Now compare that wandering atrial pacemaker to multifocal atrial tachycardia, and the only difference is rate. So, wandering atrial pacemaker, less than 100 beats per minute. Multifocal atrial tachycardia, 100 or greater. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. Weird P waves. They all look they all look different, right? They might have like differing PR intervals, but they're all different. QRS complexes, irregularly irregular. It's all the same, except wandering atrial pacemaker, less than 100. Multifocal atrial tachycardia, 100 or greater. It's just two different names for the same thing based on ventricular rate. Let's move on to some atrial rhythms. So we got atrial flutter. So atrial rhythm is really, really fast. Your P wave rhythm really, really fast. Regularity, your Q wave, not Q wave, R wave, QRS, I should say. QRS or R wave. Regularity is regular. But your P waves are kind of like this sawtooth. Right? You're welcome for the sound effects and all of this. So your P waves are kind of sawtooth, and that's the giveaway for atrial flutter. R waves regular, P waves sawtooth. Your atrial rate is really fast. You're going to have like a 2-to-1 ratio or a 3-to-1. It might be variable. It might go from 2-to-1 to 3-to-1 to 4-to-1 to 3-to-1. Might come and go, but you've got these sawtooth P waves, but regular R waves. Atrial fibrillation, or AFib, is irregularly irregular in their R waves. Look at your monitor for this. This is one of the times to really pay attention to your monitor and really pay attention to the heart rate that your monitor is giving you. So all monitors, current monitors, LifePak, Zoll, Philips, and the like, they show heart rate, the heart rate output that they show you on the monitor is an R to R, is a one R to the other R. So in AFib, the R to R's vary vastly. So you're like, I don't know if this is a normal sinus rhythm or if this is AFib, right? Look at your monitor. Look at the number, the heart rate that your monitor is pumping out, is giving you. And if it's going from like 82 to 120 to 103 to 72 to 131, you got AFib. Because it's measuring, your monitor is measuring each R to R. And that's really the biggest giveaway. So look at your monitor. It's an R to R measurement. There is no P wave. The R to R's are inconsistent. So if it's slow enough, you can see it pretty easily. If it's fast, it's harder to see, and that's why you need to look at the monitor number. So no P waves, kind of a fibrillation in between all the R to R's, and your R to R's are irregular. Your junctional rhythms are regular. Your R to R's will be regular, but you might not have a P wave. So you won't have a P wave in front of that QRS. You might have a retrograde P wave. It's kind of uncommon, but you might have a retrograde P wave. That is, your P wave follows the QRS, so it's in between the QRS and the T wave. That's a retrograde P wave. So it's slower. It's 40 to 60 beats per minute. no P wave in front of the QRS complex, but your QRSs, your R waves, are still constant and consistent. Then we have an accelerated junctional rhythm. Hell, just accelerate your junctional rhythm, right? Just a little bit faster. You've got a junctional rhythm, just a little bit faster, 60 to 100 beats per minute. We're going to move further down the conduction system into the Purkinje's into the ventricles. So we've got this idioventricular rhythm, 20 to 40 beats per minute, still fairly regular. The QRSs, the R to Rs are fairly regular. There's no P wave. That is like the big giveaway for idioventricular rhythms. There's no giveaway, or there's no giveaway. There's no P wave, excuse me. The giveaway is there's no P wave. So there's no P wave, and these complexes are super wide, really, really wide, much greater than 0.12 seconds. So no P wave, very wide complex, very slow rhythm, but the rhythm is still regular. Accelerated idioventricular rhythms are just like, well, accelerated junctional rhythms. We just take that rhythm and we accelerate it, right? So instead of 20 to 40, now our accelerated idioventricular rhythm, our AIVR, is now, instead of 20 to 40, we've got 40 to 100. Same thing, no P waves, wide rhythm, normal R to Rs, just an accelerated rhythm, a faster rhythm, 40 to 100 beats per minute. If we keep accelerating that accelerated idioventricular rhythm, we get into ventricular tachycardia, or VTAC. So now we're in VTAC. So we keep accelerating that ventricular rhythm. We don't have a P wave, but we have normal, kind of regular R to Rs. We have wide R to Rs, right? We might have P waves, and that's what all these little arrows are pointing at, like P waves. P waves somewhere, I don't know. So we see these in all of our ventricular rhythms. So we either don't have a P wave, or our P waves are just kind of like everywhere, and they don't care where they are. And our heart doesn't really care where they are. The atria can just kind of do what they do, and our ventricles are like, you know what, you do what you do. That's cool. We're going to do our own thing. So the ventricles do their own thing. So we've gone through idioventricular, through accelerated idioventricular, into now a ventricular tachycardia, and this is 100 to 200 beats per minute, and it's normal, and the R to Rs are normal. We don't have any sort of like normal PR interval. You might have P waves, you might not have P waves, but we've got this thing, and now we have this like big, nasty, fast rhythm. We can take VTAC and well, speed it up even further. So we can get into ventricular flutter, which is 200 to 300 beats per minute, which is kind of crazy. But there's ventricular flutter. Again, R to Rs are normal. There are no P waves whatsoever. This is completely ventricular rhythm. So we've taken VTAC and just really just sped it up even more. Or we can take VTAC and put a spin on it, and call it torsades, right? So torsades is kind of this polymorphic VTAC. It's irregular, kind of in amplitude, gets bigger and smaller and bigger and smaller and smaller and bigger and smaller. So it's not like VTAC where all the complexes stay the same amplitude. The amplitude changes, and that's going to change our treatment modalities, which we'll talk about a little bit, which we've already talked about in your pharmacology courses. We'll talk about a little bit more. You've talked about it in your cardiology courses, and we'll continue to talk about it. But Here's your torsades. Here's your polymorphic VTAC, just not a monomorphic VTAC. Then we have VFib. So VFib is just this chaotic, kind of static looking rhythm on your EKG. Can't see anything, can't see QRS complexes, can't see R to Rs, can't see P waves, can't see P to Ps. So it's just this chaotic little fibrillation. When you see this, just start CPR and shock it. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out and let me know.